Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Ghost Hunters: Pirate's Curse. This is the second book in the series, and it follows 12-year-old Alex, who has recently come into his own as a psychic. So he lives in a world that is kind of alternate to the one that we currently live in, where in 1900 there was a rift in the veil between mortals and ghosts. And so there are a lot of psychics that have the job of returning those ghosts to the other side and protecting the untouched from their efforts. So Alex has become a psychic. He is not super thrilled about this new change, but because there was a car accident that kind of changed him into this new persona, he basically had to leave most of his old life behind anyway. He shattered his hip, and so he couldn't play ghost ball, which he was very good at. So now he is a psychic being trained by Frank, who is a former federal psychic, and he is very good at what he does, and so he's training Alex to be his protege. Now they live in New Orleans, so there are a lot of interesting folks that they find in the spirit realm. And there's a lot going on this particular weekend. There's also a hurricane coming into town. And so Alex has kind of been set on his own to manage what is supposed to be a light haunting. Turns out it's not exactly as light as they thought. Luckily, he's got two friends, his friend Jason and his cousin Hannah, who are really helpful for him. And even though they are not psychic themselves, they care about what he's doing and they are able to help in any way they can. This story follows pretty closely after the first one ends. So Alex is kind of starting to get used to his training routine. He is working through the passing of his mother and also managing the residual effects of his shattered hip. So he's learning all this. It's obviously taking a lot of time and energy. So some of their emotions are pretty tight, and the kids end up fighting with one another a little bit. You do see some friendship similarities to those in Harry Potter. So you've got kind of the leader, two assistant friends, and then there's some conflict that arises between them. Each of them has a strong personality of their own, and just, the emotions that come along with someone who really wants to have this role as a psychic but doesn't, and then a person who does have that role and doesn't really want it. So those challenges are there amidst all of the other frightening occurrences that happen because of the ghosts. And readers who are into the supernatural, interested in ghosts and hauntings and a little bit of that spook factor, they will enjoy both the pacing and the spookiness that comes with this story. So the ghosts are not always benevolent, and there are some moments of suspense in this story. So it is written for a middle grade audience. There's some white space, some larger font in here as well. The chapters are fairly long, so better for a more confident reader. And there's a glossary at the back going over some of the terminology used in the book. If this sounds like a great fit for you, I hope you look for it at your favorite bookstore.